big issue because ultimately you actually get a better view when you're sitting up there. You get to see a better picture, and it becomes a lot easier to actually give information maybe to the assistant coach. But obviously everybody wants to see the coach sitting on the bench and giving instruction from there. But I think we can take something from rugby. Where does the coach normally sit up top there? So I don't think that it was really a problem while it was happening. But obviously now we had to follow protocol. I had to get the CAF license because obviously the UEFA A license wasn't recognized. So yeah, 32 days on a coaching course here and learning curve. Sometimes it's good to educate yourself, come back and do a little bit of, I call it like a refresher, remind you of things that you did in the past when you done your previous licenses, and certain things have changed, obviously evolved since I last had my UEFA license. Match analysis is completely different to what it was then. GPS systems, the data that you get in terms of the physical exertion of players, you didn't have that back in the day. Like I said, video analysis was complicated back then. You used to sit and watch the whole 90 minutes of the game. Nowadays, you can get just the clips you want. It's made life a lot easier. And then obviously, the game itself has evolved. The player has evolved. So good to sit and hear some of the presentations that we had, um, and I learned quite a bit.
Coach, just to go into the season that's passed, I think you would agree that you underperformed based on the expectations. But looking at it, I think your experiment time at Cape Town City is over, judging by the experienced players that's coming into the door next season. We'll probably have a whole new midfield. Is that how it is with you and John saying, we need to get experienced players to chase our objectives now?
Yeah, I think this season that has just ended, we took a little bit too much risk with the amount of youngsters that we were bleeding into the team. And we've over the past 3 seasons we've lost some experienced players. We've moved on to other clubs, other opportunities, but we really haven't gone into the market looking to bring someone of, like you said, experience and maturity. And obviously, this is a discussion that we had quite a while back, um, looking to ensure that this coming season we have a lot more depth within our squad.
Coach, I see you have moved quickly in terms of releasing players. One name in particular was Kanya. Was he a disappointment? And also, just why was he signed in the first place? Was enough scouting and analysis done on him before he was signed?
Well, it all happened, like I said, we lost Mbina and we lost Tata Mokeke. Um, no, but I'm saying injury. We were talking about both those players were key players for us through the midfield. And then KG picked up an injury. So we went through quite a rough period. So we needed to try and find a solution as quick as possible. Um, we heard about Kanya's availability. So it was a short-term fix. We signed him only until the end of the season, and we said that from there we would make a decision on whether we would renew for the following season. So he knew what type of deal it was. Um, was it a mistake? No, because ultimately he did contribute. When he came on, he did contribute. Um, but like I said to you, we were already in the stages of signing players for the new season.
Coach, I just want to zoom in back to the course on the group of young coaches that you were with there. One of the things that we're constantly hearing from them is how they are privileged to be with you guys and what they are learning from you. You as senior coaches, people who've been long in this business, what can you say about the next layer of young coaches who are coming up?
Yeah, I think what they're saying is very, very true, and I'm not referring to the classroom work. I'm not referring to theory and all of that. The practical. being out on the field, the sessions that we provide, um, how we manage players, how we get across the message to players. I think that's something that they've learned from us, more experienced coaches. And first and foremost, the important thing as a coach, you need to show passion and drive and desire to become a head coach. Not an easy job. So you see a lot of them who have that desire and that passion and want to become. And some of the sessions that I saw from them were really really good sessions. But never mind the sessions itself. It's how they communicate with the players. Do they have that? Because that's one of the biggest part of um, coaching is the man management side of things. I think there's a good 4 or 5 of them that I saw that have great potential.
Coach, do you think, uh, and also judging by also some of a lot of things that happen within the space of coaching and the gap that seems to be there sometimes between professional coaches and amateur coaches, these kind of sessions are also important maybe during off season in terms of maybe have a structure where you just breathe to each other.
No, I think it's important, like I said to you, theory and all of that is the easy part. The actual coaching is the difficult part. So I think, especially for a lot of the younger coaches, those coaches who are not yet coaching at a at a high level, the opportunity for them to be able to be around people like myself, Gavin and Steve, uh, is really, really beneficial for them. And I actually had that conversation with Steve Kutsia, where I said to him, they benefit a lot more from the work on the field with people like ourselves versus being in here, listening to presentations, doing theory exams, doing physical exams. I see the more need of them going onto the field.
Coach, you've got a very young coach working under youth coach level, Manyama. What kind of coach is he? What's his contribution to the club? And just your thoughts about
Right now, Lebo's obviously, I believe he's going for his D license. So he's obviously starting afresh. He was brought in initially. Why? Because he was the part of the squad back in 2016. He was my captain. Um, Players listen to him. Not saying that they don't listen to me, but they listen to him. And he kind of just reminds them of why we achieved what we achieved back in 2016, why we won the cups that we won. And so he was brought in for that. But at the same time, for me to now nurture him and build him and make him aware what are the key factors, and does he really want to become a coach? I think that's a decision he must still make. Does he really want to become a head coach, or does he seem going in a different path, maybe become just an assistant? But he's already doing his licensing, which is shows that he actually enjoyed the experience.
And coach, just your assessment of Luyolo Slacha this season in the senior
I
team.
thought he did very, very well. Especially when he came in. I think his first 2 games he really, really played well, and then being a young player coming from there, I think a little bit of reality set in, and he kind of took a dip, and he had 2 or 3 poor matches. But I took him out, I spoke to him, and eventually he came back, and he finished off really strong again. When we played against Sundowns. So I'm very, very happy, and he's only going to get better, in my view.
Yeah. You're quite an interesting player. I mean, what he does outside football, I think it's something that you're aware of.
Yes, I am.
How,
No,
how's
no,
it balance for him?
bright kid, knows exactly what he wants in life. He has no doubt about um, himself and what he wants to achieve. I think he himself recognizes that his career as a footballer is going to be limited. So he's really uh, a great example. You would love to see more players thinking like Lolo thinks. You don't see many players do what he does.
Let's just finish. Your moves in the market, does that imply that Cape Town City as a club wants to be in the Champions League space in future AFL spaces?
Like I said last season and the season before, We see ourselves as a top four club. That's our objective.